We each have our own interests and hobbies. For me, I'm always redecorating our home, trying things in new spaces, playing with different colors, fabrics, and textures. Little changes can make a big impact on the look and feel of a room. I love a lot of natural light coming into our home, so as soon as I wake up in the mornings, I immediately open all the shutters. I'm not sure if it was my love of light and colors, but a while back I started collecting kaleidoscopes. Kaleidoscopes are so simple, and yet they can transform a multitude of colorful fragments into mesmerizing patterns. Just like our own lives, we're formed and molded from diverse life experiences, our emotions, and moments of time, always evolving. Imagine for a moment, if you will, looking through the lens of a kaleidoscope. If our instrument isn't turned towards the light, what appears in the lens will be dark and bleak. A kaleidoscope is most magnificent when directed towards the brightness of the light, allowing the mirrors within the kaleidoscope to reflect and illuminate the image we see. And with just the slightest rotation of the kaleidoscope, the arrangement of fragments change, continuously revealing a new pattern. I can't help but think about my own daily life and a question I've often heard asked. When do you feel closest to God, and when do you feel the furthest from Him? I've had seasons in my life where I turned from God. I didn't seek a relationship with Him, and I didn't study His Word. I put the material things of this world as my focus. I was asleep spiritually, and over time I started to feel a little dead inside. It's a humbling thing to read Luke chapter 19, verse 10, when Jesus says, "For the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost." So to know that when my desires were of worldly things, when I put Christ on the back burner and I was undeserving, yet He still sought after me. It's easy to wake up each day and go through the motions of life, responding to the things directly in front of us. Mornings in our house can be chaotic, trying to get everyone out the door on time, with lunches and backpacks packed, all the sports and extracurricular things like water bottles and uniforms, to their graphing calculators for calculus and algebra classes. The last thing I want is to get a phone call from one of my kids telling me they forgot something. Meanwhile, Dawn's kissing me on the cheek, saying, "Goodbye, have a good day, and oh, by the way, you're taking Lily to her doctor's appointment, right?" My phone's pinging with text messages, and the dog's puking on the floor beside me. And it's not even 8 a.m. And yet my mind's already thinking about a 2 o'clock meeting and making a mental note to make sure I swing by H-E-B on the way home to grab 3 ring binders that one of my kids needs. And these are supposed to be the easy days. What about the hard days where we're bogged down? We're bogged down in grief over the loss of a loved one, or maybe a friend that just received a devastating cancer diagnosis. Another friend just lost a job and is worrying about their financial well-being. The AC isn't working, and now we have to work that into the day somehow. Does any of this sound familiar to you? And where is God in all of this? Sadly, He's usually yet again shifted to the side, and before you know it, you're crawling into bed. About the time you begin drifting off to sleep, you realize you haven't once included God in your day. And this was my life for quite a while. Trying to lean into God's calling isn't easy when everything else demands our attention. But we know that time continues to move forward, and I realized that I had to find small ways to include God in my day. And when I did, He began to move, and like a kaleidoscope, a new pattern emerged. I liked to read, but had a stack of books piled up, untouched. I kept telling myself I'd read the Bible one day. But as Jesus said, if not now, when? So I made a decision to make small changes. And now, as I put on my concealer and my mascara each morning, I listen to an online Bible app. And instead of listening to whatever music is blasting from the radio on my drive to work, I turn it off and I spend a few minutes talking to God. I wear a necklace. It's a constant reminder that God is always with me and I'm never alone. And I seek out others who can, throughout my day, help hold me accountable and steer me towards Christ. Little things that bring me closer to God and not distract or pull me away. I've stood in the darkness, but now I strive to fully receive His light. And as we make changes to invite Christ into our day, He works alongside of us, transforming us. This becomes evident in the fruits of the Spirit. Galatians teaches us about love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. These qualities reflect the very nature of God and are cultivated within us as we yield to His Spirit. Through God's grace, we evolve into individuals who radiate His love and grace in every aspect of our lives. It takes mindfulness and intentionality, re-examining our patterns on a continuous basis. Is there a place in your life that has become shadowed, a place where you need to allow God in, allowing His light to filter through? I pray that as you go about your day, you'll create small moments of change that through God's power will bring an abundance of His Holy Spirit into your life.